Okay, hello. We're talking about Bleach today. Finally, the Sennen, Kessen-hen, or whatever the fucking name in Japanese is. I'm not gonna try. Uh, so it's over. 13 episodes. Finally, wow. What a season. I just want to give my general thoughts about it since it's over. I did that video before. Basically just really praising the animation and the pacing. That was just really like the first episode, honestly. But now that it's over, I can talk about more. And I'm not gonna, we have 6 months to wait for the next season, which is a good thing because the next arc is really long. So as long as they have time to like really like flesh out everything you need to flesh out, that's a good thing. There'll probably be another season after that, unless they extend some of the episodes. Maybe it'll be like 18 to 20ish episodes in that season, unless they do another one. Because that the second half of this arc is really long. There's a lot more fights. I don't want to like spoil everything. I just want to give my general thoughts about this season. Um, let's state the obvious. All right, same thing I did in the first video. The animation dramatically improved. All right, we all know this. It's outstanding how much finally, right? If you were watching Bleach, from week to week back then in the mid-ish 2010 maybe, like you would understand that wow, the animation wasn't so good, and also the pacing was just so fucking awful back then. It was ridiculous, right? I remember like watching episodes that had like 7 minutes of flashback, and like it would only adapt in half a chapter. It was nuts. It was nuts how bad Bleach was back then. But like just the pacing in general was horrible. How do you get that bad, right? Not even One Piece. Actually, One Piece is probably was at that level at like some point in time. But, it's just nuts, right? And then you had like 30 episode filler arcs. So thank God for like they had time. They had time to work out what they were gonna do for the season. They had time to create better animation. They had time to go through the manga and speed everything up as best they could. The pacing's much better now. Animation's much better now. Story wise, everything I expected to happen did happen. Unfortunately, this is just my opinion, Bleach fans. I'm sorry. Bleach as a property is not that good. As a shonen, it's kind of bland. I'm not the biggest Bleach fan. I still like Bleach. I'm just not the biggest Bleach fan. It has story issues. A lot of them happen not in this arc. I don't have a problem with the first half of the Thousand Blood Year War. I don't want to spoil anything because all the sort of bad, confusing shit happens after this, where oh my, characters just appear out of nowhere and then they disappear out of nowhere, and plot lines sort of like also appear out of nowhere with no foreshadowing at all, and characters bring that up, and lots of weird subplots that get brought up and then dropped at the same time, and it's a confusing mess. One of my biggest issues, honestly, with this season, honestly with this anime, were that they were gonna adapt the manga too faithfully. Which is so listen, I understand that people like to have their anime adapted so properly from the manga, which it's just a mainstay of anime, being adapted from the manga, that you adapt it as perfectly as possible. But when the story, when it affects it, when the if you're not privy to like the controversy back in like 2016 or 2015, right, when it happened, what my main problem is, Byakuya is still alive. I don't like that. It was Kubo's intention to kill off a bunch of characters back then, and he was basically stopped because of the fans. And the fans basically sent in a bunch of death threats to him, and also they burned their own volume books just because he was gonna kill characters from his own story. They threatened suicide. They threatened to kill Kubo. The editors buckled under the pressure, and it was a sad event back then. Reading the manga week to week, in my vision, I hope that the anime would rectify these story changes in order to make the story better. Because it's not as if the second half of this story, of this arc, Byakuya is important, because he's not. I listen, guys. Don't. You can be passionate about a series. I'm passionate about a lot of series. I'm passionate about Arcane, say, from Netflix. Even though Arcane itself is like sort of self-contained, because League of Legends isn't like you can like expand the universe in a bunch of different ways. Because it doesn't have a lot of lore, so you have a lot of options. Say with that series, and I love Arcane. Arcane's a brilliant, brilliant series with depth within the characters, good dialogue, a good story, amazing animation. So that's there, right? But with Bleach, I want the artist himself to be able to like dictate his own story. So when he says something's gonna happen, I want the fans to literally threaten to fucking nerf, delete themselves from the universe. And then Kuba's like, oh shit, I guess I can't do that. That's just not right. Especially to like the storyteller, who's probably under like tons of pressure week to week, drawing this story with all his editors and all the and then the editors get involved, and the people producing the anime and all the merchandise have to get involved. Like, it's not a good time for anyone. When you guys just go fucking nuts over it. That was a long time ago, though. That was mainly my main worries. It seems like that's not going to happen. It seems like the anime is going to faithfully adapt what happens in the story. It doesn't seem like they're going to change things. I think that's technically a problem because there are a lot of things that need to be changed within this last arc. Just like story beats and other like subplots between characters that don't make sense at all. Some of them sort of get resolved in this first season, this first half of the show. We get a lot more in depth of Zaraki and Unohana and what happens with them and their characters. It sort of comes out of nowhere still, but at least we get more characterization between some characters. We get some characterization between Genryusai, he is dead, spoilers, and some other characters. More, it's hard. I understand, right? Because it's hard, like creating like all story arcs for over 20, possibly 30 characters plus the villains, and there are a lot of villains this arc. So it's hard intermingling them in between like each other, in such a short amount of time that Kuba had. There's a lot of problems in the serialization of Bleach at this time when he was creating this arc. So I would hope that the anime would take the time to fix these problems. And that's really my main concern, honestly. Just fixing the problems. They have the time, so why not fix them? Kubo has the time too. He's involved in this project of Bleach. Why wouldn't he be? He's the creator of Bleach. He should be. I believe he is the producer. Maybe not consulting. On consulting with like the directors who are creating the show right now. I don't know. It's a overall though. I'll just belating that. I'm sorry, like ranting a bit on like the second half. Be prepared for weird like story inter. Be prepared. Be prepared for like a weird story progression and dropping of like character arcs within like the next season that really don't make sense, and things that are being brought up. Who knows how fast it'll go? Maybe they won't change it. Maybe they will. I'm not quite sure. Overall, though, I enjoyed this season. I enjoyed everything that happened in this season. I enjoyed watching the characters. I enjoyed seeing the progress, seeing our main villain, you hop back, and what his whole deal is about. He's confusing it in himself after. Everything, again, everything gets crazy in the second half. But I still enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it. It was a bit of nostalgia that wasn't bad. I'm not a fan of nostalgia technically, but I still enjoy the show. Even though it's not my favorite, it has its issues. It's still okay, and I'm glad that it's back. Honestly, Bleach fans should be very happy. I'm sure they are. We just gotta wait. We don't even have to wait that long for the next season. Just half a year. That's not too bad, right, guys? Anyway, okay, I think I'm done rambling. Tell me what you guys thought about the show or this first half of the show. It was good. It was decent. That's it. You guys have a nice day. See ya.